Welcome everyone to a new chapter of No Damn Excuses, or in Spanish, Sin Malditas Excusas. I'm your host, Rodrigo Salazar, and today we have a special guest who has taken the world of freelancing and entrepreneurship by storm. Karl Swanepoel. Get ready to be inspired, informed, and empowered as we delve into the incredible journey of a visionary entrepreneur who's rewriting the rules of success. Karl Swanepoel, the founder and CEO of Revolancer. Karl's story is nothing short of extraordinary. A tale of youthful determination, groundbreaking innovation, and unwavering commitment. He's a true trailblazer in the freelancing industry, and we're thrilled to have him share his insights and experiences with us. Karl is a renowned entrepreneur, Revolancer founder, and freelancing influencer. Featured in top tier media like Business Insider, he discusses future work trends on podcasts. Notably, he shapes Europe's workforce well-being strategy at the European Parliament. Karl excelled at the Engineers in Business competition and chaired university startup panels. With an AI and robotics degree, he secured £700,000 plus funding, including support from Bob Skinstad, Google, and Amazon. Starting as a teen freelancer, Karl sold his platform at 15. He was the youngest brand ambassador for the Business Show, established a leading online watch publication, and launched a successful web agency. University years saw Karl lead a startup monetization strategy and predict reader sentiment using AI. He values mentorship, collaborating with industry leaders, and guiding fellow startups. Do you have the courage to follow your dreams like Karl, or will you be a dreamer forever? This channel will seek to find the truth through conversation, interviews, and constant search for wisdom so that we can all achieve our dreams, purposes, and no damn excuses. Welcome to the show, Karl Swanepoel, innovator, CEO, and catalyst. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Amazing. Great to have you here on the show, Karl. Can you tell me, please, where are you located right now?
Yeah, I'm located in Wales in the UK.
Excellent. So, what time is there right now?
It's currently 4 p.m., so I think an hour behind you or so.
All right, all right. So, well, here is 12 p.m. 12 p.m.
Okay, so a bit bigger difference.
So, Karl, one of the questions that we have for you today is, can you tell us about yourself in your own words, but leaving behind all of the experience in terms of the professional aspects?
Sure. Well, I've been very sort of entrepreneurially driven from a young age. I first kind of started out when I was, even at 11 and 12. This is what I wanted to do. Started taking it seriously at age 13, and been going strong ever since then. I'd say I'm a very driven person. I'm a very obsessive person. I have a very kind of obsessive personality. So things that I'm interested in, I really, really focus on and double down on over an extended period of time. And I think that's allowed me to, accomplish some of the things that I have so far.
Amazing. It's great to listen to someone that has his priorities and goals. And whenever that's an old saying, like where you put your, I don't know if in English it's the same, but in Spanish it's something like, if where you put your eyes, you put the bullet, or where you put the bullet, you put your eyes. I don't know if in English it's the same thing.
I'm not sure. I don't think there's a saying like that, but I like it. There should be.
So, Carl, in your own words, no, I already mentioned that. How did you decide to study your career, Carl?
Well, I mean, like I said, I think I've been very interested in entrepreneurship for a long time. I think I'd make a very bad employee. I'm very much kind of a self-starter in that I like to go my own way. For that same reason, formal education never really appealed much to me. I really enjoyed my degree, but I'm definitely done with formal education full time. So growing up, I always focused on various different business projects. Like you were kind of listing off at the beginning, much more so than school. And I'm very glad that I did, because it's allowed me to achieve things to a level that I'm very proud of at quite a young age. But yeah, I mean, it certainly was scary in the past. I had a lot of people telling me that I'm going the wrong path, like my parents, like teachers, like basically everyone around me. But I stuck with what I believed was the right path for me, and it's turned out that was correct.
And now that you mentioned that a lot of people were against your decisions, how do you somehow try to prove or demonstrate that you're actually right? Like, what are those kind of decisions or actions that determines that you're in a good path and you're going to obtain what you want? Like, if you somehow could tell someone that is probably in the same situation that you were years ago, what would you say to that kind of people?
I'd say to be very honest with yourself, because nobody knows you better than you. And of course, sort of teachers and parents advising me against, ignoring school and trying to start various business projects came from a good place, because it is something that has a high failure rate, kind of going for formal education and going for a traditional route has a lot more, safety and security along with it. But ultimately, you know yourself better than anyone else. And if you honestly believe that, you're onto something, then listen to other people, take what they say on board, but don't be afraid to disregard it if you really feel that you're on the right path for you. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's what I did. It was a lot scarier in the past than it is now. Well, I mean, now I don't really get a lot of people telling me I can't do it, but for a long time I did. But ultimately, I always found that very motivating because, I want to prove them wrong.
And when you achieve everything that you said that you were going to do you actually say after them, like, look at what have I done, or it was just, it doesn't matter now, I have done it?
Maybe a little bit in the past, but not really anymore. Like I say, I think in a lot of cases these objections and so on they come from a good place. So people are trying to guide you in a direction that they believe is the right path and a better path. So really, I can't fault that. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly satisfying, at least for me, to be proving people wrong.
Yes, I have done it. Like that meme. I don't know if you
Absolutely.
have seen that. So, in terms of mentality and psychology, Carl, what can you say about the strategies that you use to maintain a positive and growth focused mindset?
Well, I think I mean, if you're doing something that you believe in, and you constantly want to be speaking with other people and getting advice from people who have done this kind of thing before and constantly improving, then I think it becomes much easier, because ultimately you then you're on the right path. Yes, it can be difficult. I mean, it can take a long time. But what really makes the biggest difference is persistence. That's the most important determining factor in success. It's not someone who's like successful with everything they do or successful from the start. That almost never happens unless someone gets very lucky. I've certainly had many failures in my past, but what separates those who succeed from those who don't is those who succeed keep going, and they keep trying, and if they fail, they see it as a learning opportunity and they learn from that failure. And then next time when they, either they decide this is not for me, which is fine, but if it is, that's a learning outcome as well, right? But if you want to continue with it, you can learn so much from failures so that next time you have a much better chance. And maybe you fail again, but you learn from it, and next time you have an even better chance. And if you're just persistent, eventually something is going to work.
Yeah. And well, talking about persistent and going through that path, and I will try to connect that with the startup that you have nowadays. Like, how did you knew that the thing that you were building was actually something that you needed to persist always?
Well, because I've been a freelancer for a long time, and I know many freelancers, and I've been involved in the freelancing industry, and I've seen so many problems and faced these problems firsthand with the way things are currently being done, and something needs to be done about it. And, we are doing something about it. And just, seeing the effects of that really drive me, because just seeing the positive effects that we're bringing to other people and the positive feedback that we get makes it all worth it. We are making a very positive difference. And that's a big driving force for me.
Amazing. Good to hear that as well. In terms of practical tips, Karl, what advice would you give to someone just starting out in your industry?
Well, I mean, if you're starting out as a freelancer, then, the best advice is to just start, talk to people. Don't wait too long. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough is a line that I really like. And I think many people fall victim to, because people think that you have to have everything figured out right at the beginning, and you absolutely don't. You learn as you do. And then that's really the most important thing. So, I'd say don't wait too long. Just, wherever you are now, start, learn as much as possible, speak to people who have been successful with what you're looking to do, and learn from them, learn, what separates them, what made them successful, and then just, keep going. That's the most important thing, persistence.
Totally. And also, as a practical tip, what is the most important skill that you think everyone should develop?
I'd say the most important thing is having a high level of introspection. So being very good at and very honest with yourself at identifying what it is you are good at and what it is that you need to work on. And that can be very hard to do, because as an entrepreneur, you kind of sometimes need to present yourself as very confident, but you also need to be very honest with yourself. And if you've identified a weakness that you have, then well, there are a couple of things you can do about that. Either you can work to improve that yourself, or you can work with someone else who's really strong in that area and team up. So that's a really important thing. I'd say that's made probably the biggest difference to me personally, because when I just started out, I was very arrogant and thought I knew everything, and I really didn't. And then the more I kind of learned, the more I realized, there's so much out there that I don't know. I'll never know everything. But, I can work with other amazing people beyond just, kind of working on my own learnings. I can work with great people who are really good in areas that I'm not so good at. And then, maybe I'm good in areas that they're not so good at. And then ultimately, you have kind of those compounding strengths. And that makes a huge difference.
And can you mention those weaknesses or areas that you weren't so good at that you needed to work with other people?
Yeah, sure. So for me, I'm very much kind of an ideas person. So I'm very good at brainstorming. I'm very good at coming up with lots of exciting new ideas for direction and strategy. But when it comes to implementing those ideas, that's not really my strength. It's something that I can do, but naturally I'm more driven by like, oh, what's the next thing? Like, what's the next cool strategy we can do? And so I work with lots of people who are very, very good at actually implementing things. And then I'm involved, like, kind of, when it comes to thinking about what are we going to do next. But then the implementation of those strategies comes with other people. And I think, that's the case with a lot of entrepreneurs. So it just highlights the importance of not just hiring or working with people who are just like you. That's a very bad idea. You need to find people who have strengths where you have weaknesses. And then together you can be so much better.
Excellent. So for everyone that is just watching this video, we are talking with the founder and CEO of Revolancer, Karl Swanepoel. Karl, am I pronouncing Revolancer? Is it Revolancer, or I am pronouncing it not very good?
No, you're pronouncing it perfectly. I mean, it's a combination of revolution and freelancer, so it depends how you pronounce those two words.
Okay, amazing. So let's talk about Revolancer. What is it? In the webpage, I found that Revolancer is the hub for freelancers to collaborate, showcase their work, and find clients. In your own words, Karl, what can you tell us and explain about Revolancer?
Yeah, so it's essentially a platform that's designed to supercharge your freelancing journey. So from kind of getting started and building your portfolio, which you can display through our platform and share with the world, to collaborating with other freelancers through skills exchanges, to then going and approaching clients. So what we're looking to do is kind of build that all-in-one home online for freelancers to work with one another, to connect with clients, to showcase their work, and thrive.
Excellent. And in terms of the business model, because to enter to the platform is completely free for all of the freelancers, but how do you actually make money from this business?
Yeah, sure. So at the moment, we aren't really. At the moment, it is absolutely 100% free for freelancers. We are sort of looking to work with different recruitment companies to post opportunities on them. We're working with a couple already. And in the future, we'll bring out optional paid plans for freelancers as well. But what's very important to me is that it will always be possible for somebody to get started and do everything that they want, on the platform, essentially for free. And then as they build up their business, perhaps there's something in one of the paid plans that they're interested in that can help their business go even further. And then that becomes an interesting option for them. But yeah, for the time being, it's completely free. Everything on the platform for the freelancers is 100% free. So, what do you have to lose?
Totally. So in terms of talking about platform, because we know that a platform has two sides in terms of people that want to acquire something and people that is offering something. And probably one of the most difficult things in platforms is how do I get the balance between those two parties that want to be engaged. So what would you say that is something that Revolancer is doing to maintain that balance between the offering and demand of people that is entering into this platform?
Yeah, so we curate thousands of opportunities on a regular basis from around the web for freelancers on lots of different sort of recruitment sites like Indeed, for example, where we pick specifically freelancer listings and have that all in one place for our users to look at. Because the issue is that right now, with Revolancer not in the picture, the way to find clients as a freelancer is you need to be everywhere. You need to be on all these different job sites. You need to be on lots of different freelancing sites. You need to be proactively reaching out to clients. And what we're looking to do is put that all in one place. So like, let's say if you're a graphic designer, you're only seeing graphic design opportunities, that you can work on from all around the web. And then ultimately, there are fewer things that you need to kind of apply for and look through to start getting those clients.
Perfect, amazing. So nowadays, the jobs that are offered in the platform are from the UK, worldwide, or from where specifically?
Yeah, we're very much worldwide. So actually, the minority of our user base is UK based. And opportunities as well. We have lots of opportunities in America, in Asia, in Europe, in South America, everywhere. So one of the great things about this platform, and one of the great things that's possible nowadays, is remote work. And so many of these freelancing jobs can be done remotely. So as a business, you can access freelancers from all around the world and have them integrated in your team and working on everything. And the same thing is true for freelancers. The world is much bigger. You don't just need to look for local opportunities. You can find clients from all around the world.
Yeah, sounds amazing, that kind of opportunity that nowadays have all of the freelancer workers. In terms of the benefits behind for someone that is looking for this kind of freelance job, what are the benefits of joining in this specific platform and not other kind of platforms?
Well, you get lots of opportunities all in one place. The other big thing is you can collaborate and network with other freelancers, which a lot of other freelancing platforms don't allow. You can exchange skills and services, which were also, the first to actually bring it out in the way that we have. And yeah, it's a great community. You can build up your portfolio, connect with clients, connect with other freelancers, and just have everything that you need in one place. Whereas otherwise, you need a site to build your portfolio. You need a platform. You need to go on several platforms to find clients. You need to go on probably social media sites to connect with other freelancers. And then there are lots of non-freelancer related things on there. So it's kind of, cutting through the noise and just putting everything in one place that allows freelancers to thrive.
Amazing. And in terms of the payment as well, is incorporated into the platform? Whenever, for example, myself, I go log into Revolancer, I find someone that is doing, I don't know, a design. We somehow say that we want specific details. He sent me the job. I agree that it's okay. And the payment is how if you probably can tell us the journey of someone that is entering for first time to the platform, how would it work?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've found with working with freelancers is, if given the option, freelancers prefer to invoice clients directly and sort of handle the payment in a way that works with their workflow that they have set up. And a lot of other platforms, when they handle the payment natively, it comes with a cost, and it comes with a significant cost. It not only does it come oftentimes with a 20% plus commission fee on every single transaction, but it also comes with restrictions on how you can communicate with your clients. So in a lot of freelancing platforms, you cannot video call with your clients. You can't email your clients. You can't contact them in any way outside of the platform. And you can only write kind of in text format back and forth with them. And that's something that we don't do. We give people that freedom and flexibility of, how they want to pay. We don't disrupt people's workflow. They can absolutely video call and exchange contact details with clients, because ultimately, freelancers are always looking for new opportunities. And if they're not, why would we force them to be on the platform? But, there are lots of freelancers who are always looking for new clients and new opportunities. And that's what we facilitate. And that's why people stick around.
And how do you prevent from these freelancers to bypass your platform and not using it anymore?
Well, exactly, because they'll always be looking for new leads. They'll always be updating their portfolio. They'll want to network with other freelancers. They'll want to exchange skills and services. I don't think it's a good approach when you're building a platform to force people to stay on through restrictions and things, because people will always find a way around them if they're motivated enough to. our goal is to build a platform that people really love to use, and then will continue using, for their needs. And if they, have enough clients, they don't want to speak to any other freelancers, they don't want to exchange skills and services, they don't want to kind of, update their portfolio on there, then ultimately they're not the right user for us. But, most freelancers do want to do at least one, if not more than one of those things.
Yeah. In terms of the quality assurance, how does Revolancer ensure that freelancers are providing reliable and high quality services?
Yeah, so I mean, a big part of that is kind of a review system. So testimonials, seeing other people's experiences with certain freelancers that they can put up on there. I'd say that's a very big part of it. Also, we've got a very good moderation team who looks through content posted on the site, and regularly kind of flags things that thankfully not that regularly on in the big picture, but if it does happen that someone's posting inaccurate information or whatever, then that's swiftly dealt with. But ultimately, the biggest thing, just like with freelancing outside of any platform, is it's those references, it's those testimonials that are very important.
Of course. And I know that inside the platform you have some sort of credit system. Can you explain that in more detail, please?
Yes, absolutely. So that's related to the skills and service exchanges. So let's say I am a web developer and I need, let's say, a logo. So now if you're a graphic designer, I say to you, hey, I'll build you a website and you design me a logo. But now the question is like, do you need a website? How much is the logo worth? How much is the website worth? And maybe I want what you're offering, but you don't want what I'm offering. And there are all these issues, but still freelancers do want to exchange services with each other, and they still do. They still make do. But that's why we built this credit system, where essentially now, I can pay you 1,000 credits to design me a logo, and then you can use those 1,000 credits to pay an accountant to help you with your tax return. And I'm not an accountant, but you don't need to get something from me. And also, if you're not looking for anything currently, you can wait a month, wait 2 months, however long, and then use those credits. Or you can get something for less credits. You can get a couple of things for less credits. So it just brings a lot of flexibility to that system, and it makes it so when you do a service exchange, you don't actually have to exchange with the same person.
Nice. And I am how do I put more credits onto my tab? For example, can I use my credit card to add credits?
No. So the credits are completely their own system. When you join, you get some initial credits to get started, but then the other way is to deliver work to people, and that's how you can earn credits, and then you can use those credits for things you need.
Okay, understand. And how does Revolancer support freelancers who want to expand their skill set and access services they might not specialize without incurring insignificant costs?
Yeah, so I mean, we have lots of free resources. We have very active social media channels and a magazine as well, where we put out a lot of content. We collaborate with a lot of freelancer influencers as well, who provide a lot of great, educational content to their audiences. So yeah, I mean, it's very important as a freelancer or as anyone, to continue building on your skill set, and we give people the resources to do that.
Excellent. How do you connect with your audience or customers on a deeper level?
Well, I think a big part of it is really having their best interests at heart. Revolancer is a platform that's built for freelancers by freelancers. Our goal is to improve the freelancing space for the better and forever. And I think that's a very big part of it. And beyond there, we've got a great customer support team. We regularly interact with our audience through social media. We work with influencers as well, like I mentioned, who provide great resources and content to the world. But ultimately, at its core, we have freelancers' best interests at heart, and unfortunately, that doesn't always seem to be the case with a lot of these big platforms.
Perfect. So, what are the social media links and all of the places where we can find you?
Yeah, so I mean, probably we're on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. If you just type in Revolancer, then you'll find us if we're on there.
All right. So right now here's the webpage, revolancer.com, where you can find all of the information about Revolancer. What can we expect, Karl, for the future of Revolancer in a couple of years? What would you say?
Well, I would say that will have a much more significant impact in a couple of years on how the industry is working. And, we're already seeing the start of that. We're growing very quickly. We have over 100,000 users on the platform now and growing fast. And I think, in a couple of years' time, we'll be a much more serious player in the market, and be responsible for a lot more positive change in the space.
Totally. What are if I ask you, like, the key metrics that you are always watching and that every entrepreneur must be aware of?
It's a good question. I mean, I'd say the obvious one to look at is growth, but that can be kind of a red herring. Like the main thing to look at is engagement and retention. So, is the platform useful to people? Are people telling other people about the platform? These things are much more important. And ultimately, if you focus on those, then growth comes naturally.
Totally. Can you, are you able to use the platform on your mobile device? Do you have an app, or is only a web page?
And we don't currently have an app, but we do have a mobile website, absolutely. But we do find that most people use the site on their desktop at the moment, just because it's kind of a professional, like working site where people are probably, on Photoshop or building a website or something, and then also using Revolancer. But we do plan to release apps in the future.
Okay. In terms of the offers, what can we find nowadays? What kind of offers, and for what kind of professionals?
Yeah, so it's essentially anything that can be done remotely and be useful to a small business or a business of any size. But most of ours, sort of client projects are from small to medium enterprises. So the main kind of things on the platform are graphic design, web development, media, and marketing related services. But it goes beyond that too. We have copywriting, accounting, business support, virtual assistants, lots of different things. But anything that can be done remotely and be useful to a business.
Amazing. Karl, is there anything else that you would like to share with everyone, but I didn't ask you?
Well, I'd say, the best way to get started is to stop making excuses and just go for it, And you might be very surprised what can happen. I certainly have been. I think it's a very good message in general. And just remember that persistence is what determines success more than anything else.
Totally. Karl, now we're going to move on to not a new chapter, and a specific, I don't know how to say in English, a new segment. That's the word. Sorry. The segment is called Trigger Questions. Ta-da-ta-da-ta-da. So here the idea is that you answer, but short answers, not expand a lot. And the first question for you is, Karl, are you ready?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's go. Karl, can you tell us something that no one knows about you?
Ooh, that's a very good question. um, Gosh, perhaps that I used to well, something few people know about me, probably at least professionally, is that I used to do fencing. I caught quite a lot, and I used to be on my university's fencing team.
Nice, very good. Number 2, Carl. What do you want to accomplish in life?
I want to do something that has a positive impact on a lot of people, and I think that with what I'm doing right now, it's very much working towards that goal.
Totally. Number 3, what has been your biggest mistake made to date?
I'd say thinking that I know everything, which I certainly don't anymore. But in the past, thinking that I know everything, and then not listening to other people, and just thinking that I'm right.
Whoa, nice. Number 4, Carl. Who has been your greatest inspiration on your path to success and why?
That's very hard to say. I mean, I have a lot of inspiring figures, both in my family and outside of that, kind of advisors, colleagues, people I've been fortunate enough to work with. I mean, it's very hard to name any, and I don't want to kind of favorite anyone in particular, but I've had a lot of very inspiring people around me.
And if you must mention someone, like someone famous from the business industry, what name come to your mind, like real quick?
I'd say Tom Blumfeld, the founder of Monzo.
Interesting. Number 5, Carl. When you are no longer on this earth, how would you like to be remembered?
I'd like to be remembered for doing good things, and being a good person first and foremost. I think that's the most important thing. I'd like to be remembered for how I treat other people.
Nice. Good answers. That was trigger questions, Carl. I need to add another thing, Carl, because I didn't ask you anything about your team in Revolancer. Would you like to mention something about your team? If you have another co-founder, but mention something about them, because most of the times we do not have most time to like tell all of the amazing things that they are doing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the team is what makes everything possible. And I'm very privileged to work as a part of an amazing team. I have 2 excellent co-founders, and a larger team outside of that too, who do really fantastic work every day and make all of this possible.
Amazing. Shout out to them. So for those amazing work that they are doing. So the last thing that we have, Carl, on the agenda is the bonus track, where we ask our guests to give us general recommendations of some books, movies, series, podcasts, or anything that you would like to share with us.
Sure. So, I mean, I'd say in terms of books, I would definitely recommend reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'd say that's a very key one, just to kind of understand the basics of getting good results of, with interacting with other people, maybe beyond the obvious things that we are exposed to. I'd say Power by Jeffrey Pfeffer is a very good book in general, both for entrepreneurship, but also if you're working in a larger company and kind of starting your career. That's a very good one. In terms of books kind of outside of just directly business, Homo Deus is a great book that I really like, by Yuval Noah Harari. And then, actually, one final business book that I'll throw in there is 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel and Blake Masters. That's a really, really good book for just understanding the very interesting perspective on the startup world and how to build a successful company.
Totally. What about movies or series? Do you have time to watch them?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely do every now and then. I'd say Steve Jobs is a very good movie. Kind of obviously covering the life story of Steve Jobs. Yeah, I'd say that's generally a very good one. And then for more like I guess an entertaining show, if you're a startup founder as well, then Silicon Valley is a really good one that I always enjoy.
But that's the series, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. Silicon Valley. I'm taking my notes. And the last thing, Karl, I don't know if you listen. Do you have time to listen podcast?
I do. Yeah. I do. The one podcast that I really like is the Diary of a CEO. That's a very good podcast that dives kind of beneath the surface of a lot of these, a lot of very successful people and asks them very difficult questions a lot of the time. So that's generally a very good podcast. And then there are a few others that I listen to as well on a regular basis.
Amazing, cool. So, Karl, the last thing that I would like to ask you is that you can share a message to humankind, to all of the entrepreneurs, to all the freelancers, probably. What kind of message would you like to tell everyone? And here, the interesting thing is that I will put you on first screen, and this will be like the message. That humankind send like a specific kind of what's the word that they send to the space, this kind of
Sure.
Yeah, but whatever you're thinking, whatever you have on your mind and in your heart, you can share with everyone whenever you want in 3, 2, 1.
Well, I'd say the main thing that I'd like to share is always fear regret more than failure. And that's very much something that I live my life by. And I think that if you live your life like that, then it'll be a happy and hopefully very interesting one.
Amazing, Karl Swanepoel. Thank you very much for being here today with us, sharing all of your knowledge and all of the things that you're doing with Revolancer. Take a look at the webpage, and thank you for being here again, Karl.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Alrighty, so that's the end of the show. Thank you, everyone that is watching and will watch in the future this amazing interview. Thank you very much, Karl. Be safe, be successful, and we are out.